A step toward closures in one of the biggest cases of attempted fraud against the city of Jacksonville. Former JEA CEO Aaron Zahn was convicted of conspiracy and wire fraud on Friday. His former CFO, Wannemacher, was acquitted. Those who were on hand when the proposed sale was beginning to play out are now starting to speak out. News for Jax reporter Jim Piggott, who's been covering this story from the start, is still asking more questions.
So I'm right outside federal courthouse where this ended the whole JEA saga with those verdicts. But I was also here at City Hall when all of this began. And I'm talking about 6 years ago when the idea was presented, hey, let's sell JEA. Tom Petway was leaving the JEA board in 2017 when he said the city should start thinking of selling one of its most valuable properties, JEA. And from that point, according to court testimony, the push began by former Mayor Lenny Curry's administration to do just that. It wasn't even a year later that Paul McElroy, who was running JEA at the time, was forced out and quickly replaced by Aaron Zahn, Mayor Curry's handpicked successor. Today, by phone, I talked with McElroy about the verdict and the trial. He believes the verdict brought some closure to the community. We had heard it was Mayor Curry just wanted to get you out and wanted to change that board, do all of that. Do you think Curry should be held responsible for this whole debacle?
Jim, I don't know. What I can tell you is I know that the council auditors, I know that the state investigators, the district attorney, the FBI, the AUSA's team looked at all of the facts, and they came up with a decision to charge those two individuals. So anything at this point in time would be certainly speculation on my behalf.
During the trial, we also heard from former JEA board members. One was Reverend Fred Newbill, who told me today he felt deceived when he was on the board. I asked him about Curry's support of the sale and Aaron Zahn. Do you blame the administration then? A lot of people are saying, hey, this was Mayor Curry who brought him forward, even though Curry may not have made money, but the city would have. Do you blame him for any of this?
Well, no, I don't blame. I will never blame another man for someone else's situation. So, no, I think as mayor, sometimes, you try and help people, you put people in place thinking one thing, but you're not really responsible for their actions. So I really don't blame it.
But one man who does blame Curry is no longer with us, and that's former Mayor Jake Godbolt. I want you to listen to part of a story I did with Godbolt in November of 2019, 2 months before he died, after he placed his full-page letter in the paper about the proposed JEA sale. In the ad, Godbolt calls out JEA leadership with words like arrogant, ignorant, and corrupt. He wants the council to put a stop to the talks now. Godbolt says Mayor Curry is behind all of the efforts to sell JEA.
There's no doubt about that. It started then, and that's what that letter said. There's no secret to that. And there's no secret why they want that, is to get the money. Jim, you've been around a long time. They say follow the money.
Coming back to the trial, Zahn's former college roommate, Stephen Amdor, testified that Zahn told him he would make $40 million if JEA were sold, and that Zahn had former Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry's support for that payout. Curry has said that never happened. I reached out to Curry each day since the verdict, and so far, no reply. Jim Piggott, Channel 4, the local station.
Aaron Zahn will be sentenced in exactly 3 months, June 18th. He faces up to 25 years in federal prison.